Hello, welcome to our show, Embracing Your Design for Midlife Transformation. The tagline, Come Alive to Impact More Lives. As a tiny habits coach, happy for no reason trainer, and the Gene Keys guide, I invite soulful professionals to have conversations related to their life experiences, businesses, human design charts, hologenetic profiles based on gene keys and ancient I Ching. Enjoy our show. Today, I have my guest, Kara White. She is mindset and energy coach. Such an honor to have her in our show. Kara, how are you today?
I am well. It's very nice to be here with you. Thank you for
Yes,
having me.
I met Kara White several times in different networking events, and just her calmness and the beautiful smile on her face really just let me feel, oh, I feel like I'm just talking to my dearest friend, even we don't know each other. So, Kara, would you mind to just kind of introduce yourself quickly about what you do and why you're doing it?
Sure. I am a mindset coach, like you said, and I do that because it's just where I've been led in life, I guess. It wasn't something I set out even a year and a half, 2 years ago. I wouldn't have known that that's where I would be today. But the life experience, the path that my life has been, has brought me to this place. And I thank you for your kind words about my calm presence, and I think that is one of the things that empowers me to be able to help other people is to bring that compassionate, calm presence in whatever they're dealing with. They have space to be in their energy and yet have a grounding aspect from me that provides them that stability and support that they need in their time of whatever they're facing. So my own life experience, that I started, just professionally, I started in massage therapy at the age of 18, had my own business. Life events happened. I lost my mom in 2007. And within the next year, decided it was time for me to leave where I grew up, my home area. So through that, the years that followed, I mostly worked in small business, but changed jobs a couple times. And then in 2013, I offered for the ministry of the church that I grew up in and was there for 7.5 years. And it was during that time that I really started to travel inward. And I came to a place during that where I realized I did not like who I was in some ways. I didn't like what I was feeling about the people around me, which come to find out was really an indication of how I was feeling about myself. But I began that journey, and it's been about 6.5 years or 6 years, I guess, since I began that. And that's really the culmination. That journey led me here today, free from the church, but also free to serve and help others on their pathway inward.
Yes, yes, such a beautiful description. Really, we are here just to do exactly what Kara just did. We come in here with all this maybe filtered or expectation from other people, then we start to carry with us. This is who I am. That's what I need to do, right? But definitely, maybe life a different plan for us until we are become fully aware. We are going to be actually using the human design chart and Gene Keys profile to conversation along with Sarah's journey and the service. She is called manufacturing generator. The older population, our energy profile have 4 different combination. So we have a generator, we have a projector, we have a reflector, and we have the manifactor. And in the ancient energy world, they actually using yin yang symbol. So there's a yin and yang. So we have a 4 different combination: totally yin or totally yang, or yin yang or yin yang, different up or down. So we have a 4 type. In generator, I'm a generator. Generator is is the only type we have this strong and powerful sacral center, which we create a lot of energy for everything. And but Kara is a manufacturing generator. That means she's faster. She can create things faster. So sometimes we call it, the classic worker like me. I have to just do groundwork all the time, no shortcuts. But Kara and also my oldest son, they are manufacturing generator. They always know where to have a shortcut, and they are intuitive, knowing things they can do better. So I think that is how Kara have this amazing journey herself, go deep and figure out actually she is very powerful being. Do you have the moments realize that?
I have along the way, yeah. It's taken a lot of deconditioning and releasing of belief systems and the way that I was raised to own that power that I do have. Like there's so much about what I learned in life that it wasn't okay or safe to be powerful. It wasn't okay or safe to be who I was. And the human design isn't, I've been in the last year exploring that a little bit, but there's so much to learn about human design. But what I've really loved about it is realizing those pieces that are me and have always been me, they're still there. And we uncover that, and it's a beautiful thing, I guess, for me to see those pieces that were always me and realize that, okay, I did operate differently for a while. I thought differently. I had a different perspective. I had a different filter in how I viewed the world, but those weren't me. And if I haven't let them go, then I get to now, so that I can operate fully in my power, like I was created to be.
Yes, yes. It just sometimes we don't feel comfortable. We don't want to be staying out, right? We just want to be everybody we know and just feel that familiar feeling. Even like unconsciously, for me, I grew up in the East, so they really have a different role and function for female and male. And but luckily, my parents don't really have that very rigid thing. Male had to do this, girl have to do that. But when I get into school and go into the career, yeah, you can definitely feel that box. And I think that may be the main reason I want to go to different world. Just come out to see maybe I can find somewhere that can fit me better. And so on the journey, I came to the United States. So I think, well, yes, I'm free, but then wait a minute, and I'm free in the one way, but restrict on the other way. You know, the different gender and also different race. So then I always say, well, if I always try to fit the boxes, nowhere I can really fit the boxes, right? Because we are just totally different. So I finally decided, well, just step into who I am. I mean, if they don't like it, that's their problem. If I just leave it with my own style, well, I'm not perfect, definitely. We still have a lot of place to make it better, but at least I'm not wasting energy trying to fit in, try to transform me into a boxes I don't even feel is fair. Other than just like you said, just go deep and find out, when I have to feel comfortable about who I am, then I believe other people will sense that confidence and they can make their choice. They can get into our aura, become a friend, or they just don't feel comfortable about us. And so we are okay. It's still peaceful, right? We don't need to fight. But that is how I see human design to that too. It's like, wow, like so many different design. Everybody have their particular talents, and also they have their particular journey, right? They all learn different things. We cannot really totally relate to other people's experience. We can hear, we can relate, we can have a compassion for their journey, but at the same time, we reflect their journey to us. That's how we grow, right? I mean, for you as a mindset and energy coach, did you guide your client into the journey for them to see themselves differently?
Yes, that is so much of what the work is to see themselves in new light and to see what they can love about themselves, or the things that they maybe didn't like before, to learn to love it because they see it in new light. And also to realize that it's okay to choose things that are in alignment for them, and to do things that are maybe different than the status quo, but are the way they need to do it because it's who they are, and in alignment with their authentic self. And to that point, like what you were saying a little bit about fitting in, I'm just reminded of the difference of fitting in and belonging. And we so much of the world is about fitting in. You go to school, like you said, you fit in. You go to church and you fit into the dogma or the doctrine or whatever set of rules they have. You go to the workplace and they generally have some code of conduct, and so much about life has been about fitting in that we often haven't figured out who we are to belong to ourselves, to then decide, do I belong there? Which also might be fitting in.
Yeah.
It could be. Mm-hmm. But first, if I belong there, then I'll also fit in, rather than I'll fit in so I have a sense of belonging, but it's not even true and authentic to us.
Yeah. So because we are all growing and realizing a lot of things we did is necessary, but not necessarily healthy. Right. So that's for us to get to the point, I don't want to do it anymore. I need to change it. But before we get to the point, we were kind of just like trying and so why is it not working? But why is it working for somebody else? And it start to losing the trust in ourselves. I think for me to learn more of the human design is so important. We need to know we have an inner authority, which means how we make the right decisions for ourselves. Mm-hmm. And the outer authority is also to, kind of point out something we see, maybe somebody else didn't see. And then we can make the whole society or, personal growth become, have a chance to move to the place. But I think most of us really train to exercise the outer authority, right? We always know who is right, who is not right, and the judgments and all the all the thing. Now we are really expert about it, but sometimes we didn't even know we're using the wrong authority to make decision for ourselves, right? So, for example, you're a manifesting generator. Potentially, you will have this very strong energy from the sacral center and make things happen by speaking up. But if we are not really clear about our energy from the sacral, we always have the fears or something lacking. Then when we're saying out, that becomes expression of the fear other than love and confidence. And for me, the generator is just hopping things all the time and doing a lot of things on the first thought. Oh, I want to do it. So I volunteer. But then I do it, like, wait a minute, it's all the thing I did I not necessarily enjoy and get me into the trouble I'm not supposed to be. So that we always have this learning curve. For you are amazing manifesting generator. You have like one single energy flow. That means you are consistently, you feel like you're grounded all the time. You don't feel this fluctuated, but you do have a 3 open center. When we have a 9 different energy center, when they are open or undefined, that means we actually easy to absorb other people's energy or download it from other sources. And the information really not like a book or something. It's really the energy. So when we experience different energy, then we will have different strategies to deal with it, particularly when we grow up in a certain way. And that become our strategies, imprinting process. Then we're using the same strategy over and over and over again. Splink center, that is your intuition and your define. So that that's explain you have a very great grounded intuition power. Then you can guide yourself and guide others. But you do have an open solar plexus, just like me. I was, going out with my family, eating ice cream, all happy, and then I come home like just grumpy and not happy. And I don't know why. I just think I must be wrong. But now I learn because the solar plexus is our emotion center. If I don't have a defined emotion center, if someone just driving by or they're grumpy or someone just argue around me, I just get their energy to me. The information become my information and also amplified because of the emptiness. So now it's like, wow. So it's not my problem. Hey, it's just my design. I didn't know. But for you, it's similar. I just kind of curious about, did you have some kind of emotion triggers and you just don't want to deal with, so you rather just to be peace and get away and don't want to cause trouble? That's our strategy when we have open solar plexus. I don't know whether you have a similar experience.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think I'm still understanding that a little bit for myself, because for so much of my life, due to childhood trauma, I shut down my own emotions, which is probably understanding that a little bit better. Also about feeling everybody else's, like I could not handle it.
Yeah.
And so I just shut it down. And part of my journey within has been learning to open that all back up and like experience the full spectrum of emotions again, because I didn't get to just numb the bottom end of the negative or low emotions. I shut out, you narrow your spectrum of what you feel. And so yeah, I think it's been a learning curve, and I do feel it more intuitively. I understand, like, oh, that's not really mine, that I can feel someone else's, what they empathetically, I can feel what they must be going through in that moment now, but I haven't maybe experienced it in the same way a lot of people with an open solar plexus have in their life, because I was just numb to emotion for so long.
I mean, that is our strategy. We just don't want to get that, turmoil again. It's just sometimes I recently experienced that. I mean, just feel like this like tsunami coming out, and I say, gosh, I don't know how to ride with a tsunami yet. But you just have to deal with it. Just like you say, it's a learning curve to feel it's okay for that energy to come back. But when we grow up with something, our mind really don't want that happen again. And I think that's all the strategy, the energy work. When something coming in other than we can force it, the best way is just let it flow through. But when they flow through, that is the skill.
Right.
How we go ride with that flow. It's my honor to share your Gene Keys profile, because the Gene Keys, a lot of people think, oh, that's different system. But in the human design, is the whole 4 different ancient system. So Gene Keys, the outside rim above the astrology. So it's along with the season, different, 12 months. But the 360-degree, we divided by 64 different profile. So then that actually Gene Keys more like every 6 days, we shift to different key. And the key inside a human design body graph is like a portal. So when we have our born, our divine portal when we are born, but we also influenced by the transit. So every 6 days, they have moved to the different keys. We will activate it differently based on that transition. So in a way, this is the information from the universe. And we respond to it, and based on the different type of internal energy flow. The activation sequence for you is very amazing. You are, your life work sphere is called 34. And that is really for you to coming out from not really sure, but you need to kind of do something, because that actually the 34 and 20 is very common in the manufactured generator. They are just constantly has this strong energy going up to your throat center. So you have an urge to speak when that energy coming out. But it depends on when the energy is calm or purified or still has a lot of emotion associated. So if that emotion coming in the solar plexus go into the sacra and your sacra go to your throat. So when you express yourself, would be that message you got not really what you want to say because there might be somebody else energy, right? The emotion. So I kind of learned, wow, actually that is a human design chart. It's not only just define, it's the way our energy, our thoughts, and all the whole body connection. So when we saying something, is the combination of the messages. Does that become very interesting? So that means if we can clean or make sure the energy from the solar plexus is really peace and calm, is really what we want to say to others other than the past experience. So 34 is the life work. We have the 3 different level of the consciousness based on the gene keys. So then when we in the low vibe, which we are all default a low vibe when we come to this world. So it's nothing wrong with us. It just we start point. Like if you think it as the game, right? We start point, everybody's grumpy. So then we can go through there, we did decide to make a choice. You know, I don't want to grumpy anymore. So I can choose to be differently. And that would be go to the gift. That's the second conscious level. Then when you practice to give and give become really the wisdom because you're become like unconsciously competent because you do a lot that become part of you. And then we have a chance to shift to the highest expression that's called city. I think city is kind of ancient term about the light. So if you don't have a lot of those baggage or something heavy, then our lights will show up. So through the shadow, gift, and light or city, then we can actually see our pure self. That is really who we are. But most of us think about we are the shadow, you know, everything. So 34 for you is the force. So when you're not feel safe or you're not trust, you might want to just push it out. So in the low vibe, the force become part of your habits. But then you do that so many years, then you start to wondering, like, do I need to do that all my life? That sounds like boring and it's tired. Right. So you get to the second sphere, it's called evolution in gene keys. So evolution key is the points we start to understand we need to love ourselves. We are amazing. We have everything we do, but then there's something else we don't know. But then we start to activate ourselves to think about maybe I should evolve to a better self, but not to punish ourselves other than to love ourselves better. Right? I think that's how you say maybe 6 years you are on that journey to evolution for love, because you do know you have more to offer. But before you can offer, you need to love yourself first. So evolution, love, you are the 20. That 20 is in your throat center. You connection the 34, 20, you also connect 57 and 10. So 10 is in the G center for self-love. So when you are moving your energy consistently, you actually love yourself. So your evolution is really around intuition and love. Because 57 is your intuition. You're like a wing. Whenever you go, you can get information like a wing. So you have very strong 57. I have that too. So when you do that, then definitely just activate you to love yourself more, and intuition, you start to tuning others' emotions, because the open soul presses the blessing, also the curse is we are very sensitive about emotions. When we are learning through the waves, then we become master about the emotions. Then we can help others. So that is the blessing you have. And plus you are doing exactly to help people to to manage their emotions. And I think if I remember right, you're doing some kind of emotion coding service for people too,
Yeah,
right?
I have one of the tools I use with clients is the practice of emotion code, which is releasing trapped emotions that we have stored from past experiences in our body, because so much of the dialogue in the world is it's not safe to feel, or sometimes experiences are just overwhelming, and the amount of emotion that we experience in those, just we can't almost process it. Not that we weren't designed to, but we sometimes emotions conflict, and we feel like this is the emotion we're supposed to feel in this experience, and I can't feel that one. And so for various reasons, we hold that. When we don't allow ourselves to move that energy, we hold on to it, and it lives in our body. And it's not a good thing to hold on to energy
Yeah.
longer than it serves its purpose for.
That's right.
So,
Yeah, just like if we were really open, we should let it in and out, right? We just experience it other than hold on to it too
yeah.
long. So definitely, and I can see you are using your talents and also your personal experience and put together and offer to others. That's the beautiful things you're doing. So when we get to that evolution, love, and more intuition, we start to break through for everything we create when we're young. So we go through the breakthrough and go to the other side, is our radiance and purpose. And the only thing to make us happy, just like you say, need to process, right? The particular emotion, they are negative, they are low vibes, and they get too heavy in our aura. And also in the biology, I'm the DNA scientist. And when we have the low vibration too long, and they actually influence our genetics in a way. Right now the science start to really say, wow, actually the DNA is only just the map, but the operator, the driver is outside of the DNA. So they call it epigenetic, right? So the epigenetic is the emotion, the thought, the habits, the food, everything we are not seeing it. They are all energy form. And we don't know that until recently. But the beauty of the human design system, because they're all ancient systems, four of them put together, they all talk about the same thing thousand years ago. But now we have information, we have the data proven by the quantum science. And your radiance 59. Gene key is also the I Ching, the Chinese system back in like 8,000 years ago. So for that, you actually coming, because we all try to fit in the beginning. So we try to wear a mask about something we are not. So on the low vibe, it's called dishonesty. It's not we intentionally to cheat. It's the behavior we try to protect ourselves. So we start shield, right? So particularly in the dating game, right? In the beginning, the first date, nobody going to tell you what's wrong with me. Right? We always just say the best of ourselves, right? But it's still part of ourselves, everything we don't want to talk about. And so that's dishonesty coming in. But then through our maturation about trust, even we tell people this doesn't mean we are that. It's just the past experience. We label us, it's a victim thing, but it's not necessarily us, right? So then we can have a chance to become transparency, because you feel safe, you feel more confident. So this is me. You don't like me, at least I tell you this who I am, right? I'm not perfect, right? But you begin to have this relaxation and trust, right? That's make you happy and make you healthy, because you should be more confident and because your story is powerful. When you can share your story, you can impact more people, because they know that's not something from the book. It's not something you get certified with. It's your experience. People definitely give you credit for that and make you happy too, right?
Yeah.
So then the life purpose, I love this one. You have 55. 55 is such a amazing key. Based on the gene keys, 49 and 55, they are this big change opportunity. And 55 for the purpose is for you to change from the victim, become a freedom. So when everybody has something we don't want to talk about or we don't understand,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, but we all
Right.
think about we have no control. So we are the victim for that. But based on the spiritual or the journey we need to get on, is necessary to have that suffer and trauma in order to shift to, because the polarity, right? We're living in the two extremes. So if we don't have this, we cannot shift to this. Right. So we need to start to have defaults and all those yucky thing.
Mm.
But now I so appreciate I have a yucky thing. So I know I can have a choice to shift to the other side, right? But for you is really from victim, like you just think you have no control for your life when all the emotions to shift to you just let it be free.
Mm.
That is you're born with. You are supposed to be, your purpose just live through all the journey and become free. But then on the journey, of course, you have your doing. That's your, using the strengths to help others and also to share experience because you are the manifactor. You have this powerful throat center, connect with your intuitions and your energy and also your love. Then you share the message. Then you can bring other people bring into their freedom too.
Mm.
So that is your past. Do you have anything to add?
I love all of it. Like you sent me a little something, and I read that, and I love the expansion that you have put on here in this place. But that word freedom, I think, has been my word for a couple of years now, but for sure for like almost the last 2 years, where that's all my soul desires is just to be free of what has kept it bound up and to the heaviness that was there. And really that is summed up to the heaviness is summed up in the victim mentality. Like I didn't have a choice before. This is just the way it is. And it's so interesting, even this week, like feeling another level of stepping into, I do have a choice and I'm not allowing that, whatever that was. I choose not to allow that. And the freedom and an expansion that comes when we actively say, I will not tolerate that, or I will do this with that kind of power and ownership, versus so much of in the past, I would have said, I can't. Or just like the language we use implies the feeling we have around it and where our mindset is.
We all tricked by our mind, particularly like you and I, we have an open head center. Those people, like 70% of the population, they all have that. So we are not alone. It's really grab somebody's insight, think that's ours, and go wrong with that particular generator, right? We just wrong,
Right.
like a little engine. But the funny part is, whatever the idea we grasp that they cannot move out because they don't have a motor connect with our ajna and head. So when they are trapped in there, they were trapped for a long time until we
Interesting.
decide, yeah, wait a minute, this is not me. This is just my mind want to protect me, right? So for you, I think I don't know whether you have a story you want to share, but based on your profile, you have a very open head and ajna. That means you are very accepting, allowing, but then sometimes maybe you are not aware those things maybe not for you. Do you have episode in your life, work on something and think that's your life purpose, but all of a sudden I say, that sounds
Oh yeah. My whole life. Like when I found out that my human design, my head and ajna were open, especially my head, like it, and then it was explained to me what that meant to have an open center. It made so much sense and then you combine the fact that I am a generator, manifesting generator, just all of it combined. I took and in everything like that. I was the perfect open blank sheet of paper as a child, right? Like I took it all in, and my experience was a very either or mindset, a very judgment based, good, bad, right, wrong. And that's the piece that is not true to who I am, is the very either or, versus the openness of considering all options. And there's more, two things can be true at the same time. There's different perspectives, and letting go of the very either or is the only way I can put that, black and white, the good, bad, the judgment that comes from the early programming and conditioning that I received. But because of the early programming and conditioning I received, that's really what led me into the ministry that I was in. And so it's kind of a beautiful thing that it's in the ministry I was in that time. It wasn't the ministry that did it. It was me in that condition that provided the only, I guess, like the environment I needed to really look at myself.
Yeah.
I could have ignored it, but I didn't.
It just like the open center for solar plexus too. You become a master about your mind, right?
Yeah.
So you navigate through it. What maybe everybody still need to navigate all the time because the mind is a complicated thing. If we trust it totally, we just lose the point. But sometimes they have a good points we need to listen to too, right? It's just still the balance game. But I think for me, the open heart head center and open solar plexus, that's just the mind and emotion. Those two powerful things is really the game pieces. If we can master those two, and really we are just going to live the life we're supposed to live, because we are clear about the insight. Well, it's not me, it's maybe my parents. They always want us to be that way. Then we grab it and trap it in because there's no motor to get out there until we intentionally understand that voice, that inner guidance, and probably not the really inner guidance from our heart. Then we can let it go. But need time, need experience, and we are all on that process to get involved, right? To understand, well, our mind is fun, but they are not necessarily true. It's not a great decision maker either, because they're based on the filter. But then because of that openness, because the experience, then we become more compassionate. Right? We can relate to someone still trapped in there, didn't see the points, but you, as mindset energy coach, you can flow the energy doing the emotion code and get the conversation, shift the perception and perspective. They might see, oh, I don't see that way, but Kara, she's right. Why not see the other way, right? Then you start to have this aha. And I think that is amazing for us to, every human has the journey, but the journey not necessarily push us to the good or bad. It's just something is different. Then we all need to experience and empower ourselves using our inner authority. For you, like me, if you are generator, if you don't have a solar plexus defined, you definitely automatically just sacral defined. Which means the best strategy for us is to ask a very innocent kid or someone you totally trust, they have no second agenda, to ask us yes or no question. Then we answer, and that is our answer. We don't need to go through our hair, right? We just let the voice, the sacral to is respond, but that person need to be pure. If the person have a second agenda, then we are programmed again with their agenda. So I'm still playing with that strategy. I just think that's kind of neat. I don't even know. Like my authority actually is the voice from my belly.
Yeah. To tune into that feeling or that sensation, even like it can come out vocally, but what does it feel like in your body when you get the absolutely not or the yes, that is so right. It is really a practice to tune into that.
Well, I have such a great conversation with you, Kara, and I wonder if someone wants to find you and to maybe get more perspective from you and get emotion coding, where they can find you.
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram at Kara Works Coaching, and I'm on LinkedIn under Kara White. My email is karaworkscoaching@gmail.com.
Yeah,
some
that's
easy
so
ways.
amazing. Thank you so much, Kara White. Yeah, this is my honor. And Kara, one more time, thank you for your being a very, very honorable person and evolve with the love and intuition and guide us through different phases of our life. So I really appreciate your work.
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity, and I appreciate the time. The conversation was beautiful. Thank you.
We need to have more conversation like this just to merge our life and business and also our design, the energy. So we all know we are master, we are genius within. Everybody has this beautiful light. For people who really enjoy our conversation, remember to subscribe to the channel, bring more lights because we are all lights.